What if I could tell you the reason why you hit a lot of your poor golf shots and the reason why you can't sometimes get to grip with new swing changes or control the golf ball all leads down to one thing. Guys, I'm Matt Fry, PGA professional. In today's lesson, I'm going to be giving you 3 keys of what you need to be doing to grip the golf club correctly and better to make sure that you can actually do those things. Get control of your golf swing, get control of the golf ball. Let's jump into this lesson and find out what those 3 keys are. So guys, if this is your first time watching any of the channel videos, do hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the bell notification. If it isn't, welcome back to a brand new lesson. So the grip. I must spend probably 50% of my lesson time looking at people's grips. Whether it's a new golfer, a scratch golfer, a mid-teen golfer, a long-time golfer, I'm always checking people's grips because I see that this is the sort of the devil that causes a lot of the problems to occur. Now, I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you looked at your own grip? I would imagine that it wasn't in the past couple of weeks or the past couple of games. I would imagine it was sort of a thing you did when you started out golfing. You learned to hold the golf club in lesson 1, you learn to stand to it, and then we start to forget about it a little bit. And I'm that way myself. I've been playing for 18 years now, and my dad absolutely hammers me when I go for a lesson every time about my grip, and it's, oh yeah, forgot about that, and I fall back into my same old habits. And I would imagine you watching this video at home has a tendency with your grip, and that is probably what's causing some of your problems. So let's look at these 3 keys. Number 3 on the list, where is the club in your lead hand? So if you are a right-handed golfer and you wear a glove, where does this club sit in your lead hand? Because the one common thing that I see is that we get too much of a palmy grip as opposed to too much of a fingery grip. So what I mean by that now, if we look at this glove that I've got on screen, what you will see is some lines on there. And what we will notice is one of the lines has a tick by it, and one of them has a cross by it. And what we want to see is that we're getting the one with the tick as opposed to the one with the cross. Because what starts to happen when we get the one with the cross, the grip now in the lead hand is too much at the palm. And I would imagine we've all heard the saying or the phrase, you know, you want to see 2 knuckles on your hand. Unfortunately, you can trick that a little bit. As you see here now, as I'm gripping this, you can actually see quite a bit of the back of my hand. But the problem is, as I've gripped that now, that is running through the crossed line. It's not running through the tick line. So what we need to make sure is that we're actually getting the grip in a more of a finger-like grip, as it were. We need to get it starting in the fingers, then wrap the hand on top and see that the heel of the hand is sitting on top of that shaft. The reason for that being is, if you're not able to actually get into that position, you're going to start to limit the ability to rotate the club face and the ability to actually hinge the golf club. If I just show you this little test here. So I'm going to put it into my palmy grip now. I'm going to take my grip and I'm going to put the club out in front of me. I've got my arm nice and straight in front of me, and all I'm going to try and do is keep my arm straight and not move it and hinge the club up as much as I can. That's as far as I can get before I actually feel some pain and soreness up the arm. It starts to twinge a little bit. I'm also now going to turn the toe of the club this way. And that's as far as I can get, and you can probably hear the strain in my voice. It's starting to actually pull up in my shoulder muscles there. Okay, so that is very limited. So when we come to the golf swing, I'm going to lack the ability to hinge, which is going to create speed for me. And also, I'm going to lack that ability to release, which is going to allow me to square the club face up. When I now go into putting it into my fingery grip and get the heel of the hand sat on top, the same test. You see the club head go out of shot because it's a lot easier for me to hinge it there. When I come to roll the toe again this way, I can get that far before I start to feel the strain. So I've probably got another 45 degrees more of rotation and actual more ability to close the club face just by getting my grip into a good position at the start, seeing that it starts in my fingers and wraps over. So then I can see those two knuckles and it's running more into the lifeline on my lead hand and not running up to the palm and getting up to near that cross. Now I'm able to actually start doing what I need to do, control the club head, create some speed with it. Number 2 on the list, guys, we might actually get a fingery grip and do everything well of where we've put it in our lead hand, but then from there we might get something that's called a strong grip. So number 2 on the list is that we aren't getting a neutral grip, it's that we're starting to get too much of a weak or a strong grip. So strong, that relates to the position of the hands, not how hard we're holding it. It's not squeezing it too strongly or too weakly, it's where the position of the hands are. So strong as we go through it would be something where the hands now are turned away from my target. So my lead hand, being my right hand for me, would go underneath the shaft, so the palm's almost looking straight up to the sky on the right hand, and then the back of the hand on the left hand is too much over. So you see 4 or 5 knuckles as you're there, you see the whole of the back hand. The reason it's called strong is because as I'd make a golf swing now, it would shut my club face, and as I deliver it back, we would see that the face would start to get very shut from there, which is not what we want. If we've got a closed club face, we're probably going to start the ball off left of our intended target. And again, I could go fingery and get it into a good position, and then I could get the right hand now, my trail hand, sitting too much over, so you'd see too much of the back of the right hand and you wouldn't see any of the lead hand. So this now would be a weak position. So as I'd swing down, what we'd now see is that the face is now wide open. So now I'm going to start the ball out to the right hand side of my intended target. I'm going to be getting glancing blows, I'm not going to be getting the strikes I want, and I'm going to see that I'm not going to get the directional control I want because of that weak grip. So we've had number 3, make sure we're getting it in the fingers as we start our grip. Then number 2, let's make sure we're working towards a more neutral grip where we've got fingers, we can see a couple of knuckles, and then on right hand or trail hand, this little line that sits between the thumb and the forefinger is pointing back towards the trail pec there as we'd see it. We wouldn't want it too under, we wouldn't want it too over as we're starting to make our grip. Then number 1 on the list, the reason why I see the hugest mistake with everyone's grip as where I get to see them in lessons is how hard we are holding the club. I sometimes, when I'm demonstrating things with my lessons, I'll stand with them and I put my hand on their grip and I try and swing the club with them, and the tension that is in their forearms and their hands is unbelievable. You see the blood being squeezed out, the knuckles go white, and you can almost feel the steel crushing underneath the hands because they're holding on to it for dear life. Now, once we do that, what we're actually doing is restricting the movement in our forearms, we're restricting the ability to hinge the golf club. If you imagine just squeezing the club as hard as you can and taking it away, it's actually quite hard to get the club working around your body. You're not getting the flow of the golf swing that we want. So what we need to do is try and grip it a little bit lighter. It's your friend, don't strangle it. Actually let it work in your hands, and you'd see a lot of the pros have the waggles and feel the club in the club head. If you're gripping it that hard, you won't be able to feel where the club head is. And as we actually swing anyway, as our speed increases, you actually squeeze the club harder anyway. So you want to start off light, and then as you're swinging, naturally your instincts kick in, it know it's moving quicker, so it will hold on a little bit better. You don't have to strangle it at the start. So go through those 3 keys. Let's see that you've actually got a grip of your grip. See if you can do that, you are getting it in the right place in your lead hand. See that you've got it in the fingery part, and then you're wrapping it over. Let's see that you're not too strong or too weak, and let's see that you're not strangling it and holding on for dear life, because those could be the reasons why all the swing changes you're trying to make aren't working. If you get a good grip, like say to a lot of my lessons, you never really see Tiger, Rory, Adam Scott, whoever it may be, none of them really grip it that well. There's a few exceptions to the rules, sorry, they all grip it well. There's a few exceptions to the rules who don't grip it that well. So why should we not grip it well? Let's make sure it's something that we can all generally do and get control of, work on it. And I know grip changes feel very horrible at the start, but maybe 50 balls twice a week, or whatever it may be, even just gripping a club at home, re-gripping it, it'll all become a little bit more natural. And then from there, once I've got my good grip in now, nice and smooth, nice light grip, I can hit a really nice tee shot. So not so much of a drill video that there today, guys, more about getting some fundamentals back in check. If you can get a grip of your grip early on this year, we should see that you start to actually get better control over the club face and see that you're starting to gain more control over your golf swing and golf ball. So give it a go, run through those points because they are key. If you're not doing these things, they are going to be causing you problems, so do check them for me, guys. I hope you've liked this lesson this week. If you have, do remember to hit the like button down below. Also, do turn on that subscriber button. I said it there, subscriber button. Hit the bell notification, and I'll see you in another lesson very soon.